There we go. That's better. All right, let's get this piece. We've got to do some trimming because unfortunately it's super long, but that's all right. Let's start chopping it down and work out where it goes. Here's our little gutter piece, and I've just got that clamped over there, like so, getting ready to weld it. Unfortunately, this end here, we've got a little bit of a gap over here, so I'll just have to fill that, but no stress. That's all good to go. Nice gutter in position. We'll stick a bit of primer inside that. Go from there. Now I've got to watch my head getting in and out because I'm going to smack it on this. It's all good. It's all good. Right, so one of the next things I want to do, now that I've got that in, I don't really want to do the roof just yet, and I don't think I'm going to have enough gas anyway. We're going to run out. I know I'm getting super low on the gauge over there. I just got to bite the bullet and go and get it. Yeah, we might actually get this back on the hoist, get it up in the air, and I want to get the underneath of it in primer, because once the primer's done and I've actually put the blue on it, I can weld the floor on, and then the final. Or we've still got that little window to go as well. The final thing will be putting the roof skin on. So yeah, we'll get this all cleaned out, get the ground cleaned up and get it back up on the hoist. Okay, so we're back up on the hoist and we're going to get ready to do some painting underneath. But before we do the painting underneath, we're going to fix this little problem here. So obviously that's all been tacked in. The hinge has all been done, but we've got this gap here. So I've just got to bring this down. Obviously we'll come up with a method, probably just cut straight across like that, come down, and then we'll just have to drop it and then put a patch panel in. We'll work something out. Interesting, as soon as I put it on the hoist and it went up, you know, the doors, this is what happens. You can see the doors have dropped already. And it's just that little bit of flex still going on, so we just got to be mindful, you know, when we do weld the roof on and weld that lower section on there to make sure that they're all where they need to be. But, you know, look, there is adjustability in the hinges anyway, so I've got a feeling we've still got to play around with it. This door still isn't shutting properly. We've still got issues with this door, and the gap up there's way too much, so I'm not sure what's going on. I think the front or the hinges on this door might not be correct, or the gap might not be correct, so we're still going to have a bit of playing around there. Luckily this bus isn't going to be shiny, otherwise we'd be going backwards in a hurry. Anyway, let's fix this little part here up. Okay, so you can see what I've done here. I've just chopped this piece out, so that was like so. That was our problem, and all I'm going to do now is bring it down like so, and then add that little piece in, and all will be good. This thing here is not playing ball, it's coming out and stopping and then getting stuck, and then you wriggle the gun and then it pops out again. So I've got a feeling something's going on in the liner. I've pulled the liner out and there's no kinks in it, but it's just not working properly. So I've ordered another liner. I reckon I might have stepped on it and crushed it. I don't know. We'll work it out. And it's frustrating because I can't weld properly. Anyway, what we're going to do now is just fill that little spot in, and then we can go around here and finish buzzing all that off as well. And just like that, we're all done. So that one's been buzzed back, and we've got our nice little section there repaired. Well, let's move on to the next bit. I think we're going to start putting some plastic on the hoist and get ready to put primer on this, on the bottom of this thing. Oh, look at this fine, beautiful specimen. you can see the gutter that runs from the back of the car to the front is perfectly level on this side. And as we come over here, we can see we are not perfectly level. We've got a kink at the B pillar and we've got a kink at the C pillar, and guess what? I didn't see it, which means only one thing, we've got some issues. So this has to go up right here. So we're going to have to force this corner up to get that level, and from here forward has to come up as well at the front. Hence why we're having this problem here with the door not wanting to go in. So minor adjustments, but unfortunately it means I'm going to have to undo most of the work I did down there, unpick it all to get that fixed. I just didn't see it. You know, it's one of those things you're kind of looking at other things going along, and I just happened to walk past and saw the gutter rail and went, whoa, that is not good. So we're going to have to rectify that problem. And yeah, it probably means, you can see here, we're going to have to put the porta power under that corner. I'm probably going to have to undo this so that it can relieve it, so we can push this front up. And then look, there is some telltale signs here that it wasn't right, because you can see the gap here, and then over here it's tight. So that's telling me that this part here has to come up, and that'll also change this shape here. But yeah, the joys of these early buses, you know, there's a lot of movement. You can imagine when this thing was on the road without the roof in it and they were flying around the paddock, it would have been moving left, right and centre. So there's definitely a lot of, you know, measurements to be had, and that's just one that I didn't see. The other side's perfect. So that driver side door's fine, gaps are good, that whole wall's good, everything's perfect. But I suppose the other thing too is when you are welding, things are always moving. So this could have actually just happened over the course of welding all these little sections, and it's pulled it, but we're going to fix it. So this is what I have managed to do. I just put a roddle on the top of the gutter there and just made sure it's dead level over to where we need to be, and I've jacked that up, which has pulled this C pillar up where it needs to be. And now our door gap here is bang on where it needs to go. So we're getting there slowly. We can now go inside and weld that bottom section down there, get that put in position, and that'll stop this C pillar from dropping down. So that's one part we can tick off. What we will need to do next is work out that front section of gutter and find out why that's dipping down and manhandle it back where it needs to go. Okay fellas, we are ready to do some painting. We are going to, let's see, yeah, we're going to get the underneath done in the primer. We've got our cargo doors sitting up there honky-dory for now. I'm sure they're going to move again because that's what they like doing. But yeah, we're going to get a coat of the red oxide primer on the underneath of it. And then also in the engine bay, we've got that all prepared. I'll show you in here. Looks rough as guts, but it has been prep washed quite a few times, so there is no grease in here anymore. So yeah, we'll give this a coat. Give all underneath in here a coat as well, and also the floor structure. And I do also want to paint the floor pieces, get those in blue, so that they're just going to be a lot easier to weld and get in later on. So yeah, let's set this up. We'll get the primer ready to go. Righto guys, day 2, all the primer is dry. I've actually come across a colour match which is a bit closer to the original zinc oxide primer, and it's actually just these guys. So I'm going to just blend the two together in the areas that we're going to have to do colour matching. Obviously that will be one area. I mean, underneath doesn't matter because that's all going to be blue, and we're not going to be scuffing that up. But yeah, these areas I just kind of blended a little bit on the dog legs. There's nothing really else that needs it, but anyway. Yeah, so we're going to get some blue on the bottom of this thing today. We're going to start mixing up the paint, and we've got it here. This is the colour matched blue and Colour Solve. That's the stuff to use. 2-pack. It's a 2-to-1 ratio, and it's satin, like the original, because the original paint wasn't super shiny back in the day. So yeah, anyway, we're going to hit the engine bay underneath. Pretty much whatever the pink stuff was will go the same. I think today, just because I can, and I will, we'll start with the engine bay. Get that all painted first. Let's do it. Okay, let's have a look at the damage. Woo, look at this pinkness. Pink, everywhere pink. Not bad, eh? It's looking a lot better than when she first rolled in here, that's for sure. And we've got, obviously you can see, I've done inside the floor as well. So the next thing's going to be, we're going to put these floor pieces outside on the rack and spray both sides and get them ready for painting too. And we can also do this transition hump part as well, because that's got to get welded in. I just wanted to get the underneath in blue so I can get it back on the wheels before I tackle the floor and the roof, just because I want it on its wheels. So anyway, yeah, this is all done, and did the front as well. Just those bits that, oh look at that, runs. Well, that's no good. Don't like runs. Pity you're not going to see that. Yeah, all done in here. And if we just open up the cargo door here, you can see I've also done inside as well. Look at that. Bloody beautiful. So yeah, we're getting closer. I'm still not sure what we're going to do on the inside of this thing, whether or not we might end up just spraying the whole thing cream in the factory colour, or leave it dishevelled. I don't know yet, but yeah, there you go. One more part done. So I'll let this dry, and we will come back tomorrow and apply the blue underneath. Okay, so we've got everything in blue. Yeah, cool. Looking very schmicko. Let's have a look at the engine bay. Oh yeah. Starting to come together. You can see in here. Still a little bit on the pongy side, but pretty good indeed. A few people have been saying I need to get some new shoes because, you know, these things here are just not cutting it. So I got some new shoes. There we go. That's better. Those ones are worn out. We're going to let this dry for a couple of days before we continue, but at least it's painted. And I will see you in the next installment. Cheers for all the new subscribers, and we will catch you in the next one.